Welcome to the RCAD. We are live tonight. No soundtrack.
Great sound, Nick. That's the best.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. Why'd you think I didn't have a song?
Because you didn't show off your ukulele.
You're not assuming positive intent here, bud.
He was showing us other things before we started recording.
I know. That was
that's only for the private chat.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I did an oldie today. Let's see.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she did. She taught me so much. Well, we're the type of guys who will never settle down. We fuss and we fight, throw old jokes around. We'll tell you some good stories, ones you don't want to miss. Sometimes we're good lads, sometimes we get pissed, cause we're the Ramblecast. Yeah, the Ramblecast. We ramble.
Was
that a redo? Was that have you done that one before?
No, never done that one before. Never done
That's awesome.
before.
All right, then I'm going to say that's your best one yet.
You know, that brings back a really good memory for me, actually, that song. When I was a kid, my dad was he was like the sales manager, operations manager for a car dealership out in Western Mass. And they had every Wednesday, I think it was, or I forgot what day of the week it was. I think it was Wednesday. They would do cruise nights. So it was like they had the huge open field, and then people from all over the hill towns of Western Massachusetts and Springfield and West, they would bring their old cars, like their old show cars, like from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, like all these old. So they even had a Model T there. Like it was actually really cool. And they would have a DJ that would come up, and he had this fucking DJ, which is this typical redneck dude. He actually looked like Dave Mustaine.
He can hear you.
That's fine. He actually looked like Dave Mustaine, and he had this pickup truck that had like these 50-inch wheels on it. Like, but that was his shtick. He was a DJ, and he actually outfitted the entire truck with speakers. And I'll never forget. It was just all night long. I would listen to old, 50s and 60s music, and that was one of the cars that one of the songs rather that always came on every Wednesday night. So, thanks for the memory.
Well, that album, has two classic songs out from '61, which is "The Wanderer" and "Run Around Sue." So it's like,
yeah, you play both of those, and the brown-eyed one-horn fucking people eater or some shit like that. It was another one of those songs that was
brown-eyed girl, one-horn people eater.
Yeah, brown-eyed girl, people eater.
People eater.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you about ready to eat some
the Magic Dragon?
Yum. These are tasty. These are
pink lemonade. Nice.
Pink lemonade, yummy.
Yeah.
Does it say bile on there?
Nope.
Oh, bite. Okay, sorry. The cursive. I didn't see the tip of the T. I thought it was B-I-L-E.
Yeah, it tastes like throw up. Right?
Yeah.
No, these are good.
True bite.
They're actually
you don't swallow them, you lick them.
They're actually not as tasty because these are the sugar-free ones. But
dogs always lick up the throw up and stuff.
Sure. Same with purple people eaters.
Yeah,
that's true.
You want to lick them.
Stay with me there.
So look at you know who still has the most fucking punchable face in DC?
Matt?
Me? Guys, look.
It's a long list.
Just because
it's fucking Gates, man. He's
because we share the same first name. No relationship.
I think there's something with Matt's.
I'll tell you, I saw that news today, and obviously it's not. I mean, I fucking smiled, but it's not great for the one half of the situation. But the fact that he's getting shit on by everybody right now is fantastic, and I love seeing this guy crash and burn.
Except for the guy on Twitter named Matt Gertz. It's hilarious. I've been seeing.
Is he taking a lot?
That's a real thing.
At Matt nice. Gertz, and it's funny because he responds to everybody bastard. Like, wrong person, not me, wrong person. It's like it's hilarious.
Oh man, but nothing brings me more joy than seeing that guy fucking burn. Like he sucks so much, and his face is still so punchable. And now he's probably gonna get thrown in jail.
I think
Actually, he's not gonna get thrown in jail.
No,
They don't go to jail. Those guys.
No. So, but
I thought it's been an interesting.
Too.
I think. I'm staying out of politics, but I just think
this isn't politics. This is douche.
But I was going to go that. I was going to go that direction but I said no. I don't want to do that. I'm
not even talking politics. I'm talking much of a fucking douchebag.
No, but yours kind of reminded me of something that I thought was funny, and I'm going to let it go because
okay.
Half the people will not find it funny. The other half will find it funny, and it just is what it is. But I am getting my first COVID.
Jack, what are the odds of it being funny?
Well, it's funny, and it's funny. It's funny, kind of like okay. Anyway,
well, we'll save it for the bonus show.
There's no bonus show. But no, I was going to say, this Saturday I'm getting my first COVID shot.
Yeah.
So how'd you get it? Did you go through CVS or did you get to the state?
No. That day, the next day, it popped up that I could go on. They would allowed me to get in there. So
I was really hoping that it was going to be Chris bringing you some brownies with the COVID shot.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have been keeping my eye on CVS for a few people who still need to get their shots, and clicking on North Carolina has been part of my week. I have been.
I'm sorry. I appreciate that. I should have told you.
No, don't apologize. I didn't find one.
Same with Matt Gates, because that girl's name was Carolina. Sorry, it was just right there. It was right there.
Is her name Carolina?
No.
Okay.
People that like to click on things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, But so my wife was supposed to go last Saturday, but she canceled it, and she's now going on the same day with me. Oh. And so you're rolling the dice. Like we got a chance to be, But I guess Washington State, they had 102 people, 108, 102, or was it 100? 108 lost. 102 people that have had both shots tested positive for the virus 2 weeks later.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the thing is that the vaccine will help you stop from getting it, but it's not foolproof. But you could get it, but you might
they're
get
older,
it
and I guess they're older people.
They're
older people like Matt.
Your effectiveness after you get the second shot, it's like you have to wait 2 weeks after that second shot. It was 2 weeks after they got the shot that they all tested
positive. 28 days if you get the Johnson & Johnson shot.
Which one's the best one? Because I have my choice, I guess.
I mean, it's difficult to.
Well, I don't have Pfizer. I don't get a choice. It's the Moderna and
Moderna is super effective. It's like 95% effective.
This one got the Moderna. This one got the Johnson & Johnson.
I got J&J. The only thing about J&J is it's one and done. You don't have to go back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would talk about Jay and Jack like that.
So if I get Johnson and Johnson, I'm done.
You get one
shot.
That's
it.
Is it
there is a question about the level of effectiveness of J&J versus the other two.
It's a different. The way that it was made is a completely different vaccine.
Correct.
Now. And what I was reading through NBC.
Do I get
article,
some petroleum jelly with it or anything like that?
No. They say that you get more. It's a larger dose that you're getting with the Johnson & Johnson. So. Tamara apparently is in the chat. I assume that it's some fire.
Shots fired. Pun intended.
That's why nobody likes the Gladfell.
The effectiveness does go up
just saying.
after a month. So
I got to wait a month with the COVID
no. I mean, it's just
right now.
No, it's just the effectiveness increases the longer you have it. So
correct.
And in the clinical trials, 100% nobody's died. So there you go. So your chances of dying from COVID.
There was one dude. I was watching. There's just one dude. I forgot where the fuck he was from, but anyways, he was on. I think it was on it was like an ABC like news clip or something. And the old dude, he got. I think he got the Johnson & Johnson shot, and he had like this crazy, super rare reaction where his skin like just turned red and he had a full body rash.
Oh, I don't want that.
And he was he was all fucked up. But Jack, I mean, I'm not trying to scare you out of one.
Oh, you're scaring me because next thing I'll be doing is going.
This is like he's
sledding in jeans.
So supposedly,
I wasn't sledding in fucking jeans. Jesus.
Supposedly, he's one of the only people in the world that has had this reaction, and they're deducing the fact that it was part of his genetic makeup and the way his specific DNA.
What a deduce! Am I right, guys?
Yeah. But the best part about that, though, is they interviewed him, and after he had gotten out of the ICU because he was all fucked up with his skin and rash and everything. He's like, I would do it again. So everybody go out there and get your shots.
Man, you try that shit. I was fucking woo-hoo.
Yeah.
I was scratching for a week and a half. I'd do it again, though.
That's why.
Is it Pfizer? I think it was Pfizer just came out and said that they've tested 100% efficacy for adolescents. So I think ages 12 and up.
Yeah, I said it was 12 and up.
Well, I thought Fauci. What's the doctor? Fauci.
It's been a year, and you're like,
are you trying to fucking say you know who Fauci is?
Fauci, that's what it is.
He's like one of the most prominent people in the world.
Oh, but you got a liberal joke in your arsenal, but you can't say Fauci. Come on, man, you got to get on the QAnon stuff. You know,
I don't know. I can't keep track. But he said it was going to be 2022 before kids could start getting it.
Yeah, I mean they're going through trials right now for adolescents. So
now, what parents are letting their kids try this stuff?
Same kids that would put their same parents that would put their kids in a TV show. But seriously though, I know 16 and up can get it now.
Yeah.
in my state. So
I heard everybody in New York can get it. You just have to give the governor a kiss.
Friday, everyone in Colorado will be eligible to get it.
Nice.
We don't like when we attack the liberals. We don't.
I have no problem with attacking schmutzes that are groping people.
Yeah, so. He's a piece of shit. But anyway.
Anyway, second shot, first shot. It's good to get it.
So you're done. You don't need another shot.
I'm done.
Matt's been done because he got the one and done. Yeah.
Now the only thing that I've mentioned.
You got the Jay and Jack little prick. Johnson. Sorry.
That is absolutely the episode title.
Yeah,
Jay and Jack's little prick.
I think that's funny. I like it.
So within 23 hours, I did have, basically my whole body kind of ached. Pain? And no, unrelated.
Okay.
So the shoulder pain's back today with a vengeance, but that's because
someone was asking about the towel.
Because you're doing stuff.
Well, I kind of overworked it a little bit, and I said, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. So, so my boss, so he got his second shot yesterday, and he was getting Pfizer, and I just said, hey, take today off. Just, in case you don't feel good, don't come in and just relax at home. And, of course, he was very old man about it. Oh, I don't need to just sit around. I don't know what sitting around at home would do any good for. Well, he didn't come in, so.
Yeah, I'll tell you, some of these side effects are no fucking joke. I mean, last week during the show, I was dying. I had 16-hour headache. To be
fair, you die every week on this show.
I know. I had a headache for 16 hours straight. It was
no one noticed. Oh, I get the thinker. Okay. No, we really. I'm glad that you're feeling better tonight.
Oh, fuck off. But anyways, so my mom got her second Moderna shot this morning, and I was talking to her tonight, and she was feeling like horse shit. So I'm not looking forward to the second one, but it's gonna be I'm looking forward to it, but not looking forward to the aftermath.
I've heard magnesium. If you're having muscle cramps, it helps with that. So taking magnesium, to help kind of offset that. So.
That's what worries me about tech. That's one of the reasons why I've held off. I could have gotten it a month ago, because being diabetic. But it's just because I got diabetes from taking a shot. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm so scared of reactions.
What else can happen to you?
Yeah. You have 3 hosts now instead of 4.
Well, 2.
And then we lost Nick.
I was going to say too. On a separate note, I still haven't figured out how I called you guys in on a chat.
Buddy.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even have the courtesy to turn your camera on.
I couldn't figure out what I had done. I was doing that word thing on my wife's phone, and I saw Matt text something, so I clicked on that. All of a sudden, I go, "Why is Matt? Why do I see Matt? Why is Chris there?
Yeah.
Why is Nick here?"
So the other day, Jack somehow blindly group FaceTimed us,
and I was happy that because my wife goes, "I'm so."
Here's a picture of us all FaceTiming Jack. You can't see Jack because he didn't have a screen on. There's Nick. There's Chris and his work elevator, and there's my goofy ass face on the couch. So
my wife said, "Isn't that nice? They all cared enough that they thought maybe something happened to you, and they all came on." I said,
"That's pretty much why we did it." I mean,
I thought
because God knows
this has to be good.
I would FaceTime you guys instead of calling 911. That's the first thing I would do.
Wouldn't you though? I mean, at least we can bust your balls while you're in pain, writhing.
Yeah, that's true. And I was like going, "What is going on? I don't get this." So I still can't figure out what I did.
We almost had a little mini RCAD there.
He's like, why do I see you guys? I'm like, okay, boomer, turn your camera on.
Ironically, like Chris just clocked out of the Apple store. He's like, "Fuck all, I'm not helping you."
This better not be a tech support call, or I'm hanging
up.
No, Randy, he didn't crash an Owen and Baru recording. Although
no, Chris, did you hear that Chris was there?
Nick and I have just taken to our Star Wars love on our
but
own.
But I thank you guys for answering and checking to make sure I was okay. And
I just thought it was fun that Cindy was just dying laughing in the background, like, "Oh my God!"
She goes, "You're so old. You're so old, and you just don't get it." I go,
She was busting your balls harder than we were.
She was, and afterwards, she goes, "You're just, you got to get with technology." And so I go, I don't know.
You release YouTube videos, you get shade for that, you do your own thing,
Yeah, but I can't work my phone.
Oh, God damn it.
Like the sequence of taps to make that happen is actually fairly significant. So as an example, I'll demonstrate.
Is this a tech support call?
Nope. Let me see. Where's the Ramblecast chat? It's in here somewhere. There it is. So you would have actually had to go into the chat and then tap up here on the top.
Yeah.
And then tap FaceTime. There's like 3 taps.
I think what it was is my
not
wife
even
does,
a double tap, a triple tap.
Yeah. My wife does this. She's got me hooked on now. It's this word game thing here.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I get advertising.
And she's always she gave it to me. I go, "All right, give it to me." And then we were texting back and forth about something, and I had it sitting on the couch armrest. And when it went off, so that must have been what I was kind of hitting the phone to try to see the message and try and get the words. So I must have done that.
Has the word game helped you with 2, 2, and 2?
No.
Or there and there?
No. Okay,
sorry.
I understand there.
Okay.
The 2s are 50-50. Or 33%.
Will chimes in the chat here. Honestly, the last time I assumed I got butt tiled, it turned out to be an emergency call about a friend. I never assume butt tiles anymore. And to Will's note, I accidentally called my aunt right after my accident. I think I told about this on the podcast. And it was such a nice kind of random thing because it was that extra voice of reassurance that I needed in that moment. Because let's face it, when you reach a certain point, you're like, I'm not going to call that person, or I don't need emotional support. But sometimes having your mom, and my mom's gone, but having my aunt, on the other end, just to be like, "It'll be okay, sweetie. Thanks for calling." It's just like that little gentle reminder.
After your jeans dry out, you can say, "Come on."
Fuck you.
I know it hurts. The chafing won't always be there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to iron them, sweetie. You don't need to iron them.
What are you paying attention to, Chris?
It's like
Nothing.
Okay.
yeah, he's just like letting me flounder on my own. Look,
They kill me hit hard.
I thought
I was changing my name.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay, gotcha. Everything's a test.
It doesn't hit that hard that quick.
Ken, you work for Apple, Chris, or maybe not.
Allegedly.
But I do like the new feature where it says spam call.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But can't they just block it? Why do I have to go?
That's actually not the phone. That is your carrier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't always tell me that, but it does. I'm with AT&T, and about half of them say spam. The other are like just if I see it coming from a random rural West Tennessee town, I know it's bullshit. I'm like, I don't know anybody in that town.
Because my dad and I had the same name, exactly the same name, and I get calls about his house and texts about his house nonstop. And I just the texts I send back say, "Fuck you, leave me alone." And sometimes they'll say, "Okay, we'll take you off the list."
So a few things, right? So like different carriers have different levels of spam filtering. T-Mobile actually does the best out of all the carriers to filter out like the spam calls and the ghost numbers. But as in an added additional protection, I do recommend an app. It's called Nomo Robo.
What is it?
Nomo Robo.
Nomo Robo.
Yeah, so I think I pay like $16 a year for this app, but it works really, really well. So it's actually a curated database that's user created. So if you get like if you have it turned on, it has this huge database of numbers that have already been identified as spam or phishing calls, and it'll automatically kick it right to voicemail. You won't even have the phone ring. And if you can actually add numbers to it if one gets through. It works really, really well. And then if you combine that with one of the phone features where you can actually have it your phone not ring unless the number calling you is in your phone book, which is also very effective. But you won't get phone calls from, like, let's say someone's calling to verify a password that you entered online, that they call you, you might not get that. Or if you're expecting a phone call from like Home Depot to confirm a delivery, you won't get those phone calls. It'll just kick right to voicemail. But since adding this Nomo Robo app on my phone and paying for it, I probably had like a 95% reduction in bullshit.
Did you just remove the green screen to show the exact same thing that was on the green screen?
So meta.
This is what listeners tune in for. It's my shenanigans. No, they don't. They tune in for you guys to shit on me about blue jeans. But, actually, I was putting up the green.
The facts are there.
We care more about your blue jeans than we have your shoulder lately. Just saying.
Well, I actually the shoulder pain's gone away because I have all of these knives stuck in my back from you assholes. But
and see, are you happy?
I'm much happier. Might also be the pain med I took right before this. So
I did want to say also I did check out the Mighty Ducks TV show.
Oh
yeah.
You talk about Lauren Graham being typecast.
Oh, I love her.
And she's the Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Gossip
Girl?
Gilmore Girls. That's
Lorelai.
Oh,
Lorelai.
I definitely had a crush on her when she was on that show.
Oh, no doubt. Man.
This
was nuts. It's like her and what's her name? Biel.
Jessica Biel.
No, the daughter on.
She's under 18, dude. Not cool.
On that show, but she ain't now. But anyway, it's the same. It's like the same age difference between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. Is that she was playing her mom, but she was only like 11 years older than her.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that.
But it's got Gordon Bombay's back, but he hates
the
hockey.
Old man,
yeah, and his Zamboni doesn't work really well, but he leaves it on the ice so someone can skate into it and get hurt and sue him.
That's not cool.
Did you see any skaters on the ice?
There were a few skaters on the ice.
No one's paying to go to that rink.
I'm just saying. But then it's just basically what it is. It's a reboot of the original Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah.
It's all it is. And
yeah,
and
they
now,
stole the Cobra Kai formula.
Yeah, now the Mighty Ducks are
the
the
Hawks.
bad team. They're
the
the
Hawks.
Hawks.
Yeah.
The Mighty Ducks are the Hawks.
I assume that's what we're going to get privy to, is that, he was the coach for the Mighty Ducks for a while, but, they became so popular that all the parents ruined it for him, because right. My kid has to play. We're the popular team. And he's just like, you know what? I'm not in it for this.
He's not wrong.
Right.
That is sports today, especially in a travel situation. I mean, it's funny how delusional some parents are about their kids' talent.
So I know they used to come. Jackson's not in this show.
He's not in it. No.
Who's not in it?
Joshua Jackson.
Oh no, he's not in it. No.
My good friend Joshua Jackson.
I think 4 or 5 of the original cast are going to be in it. Like the goalie kid.
Dude, he's led a fucking terrible life.
Edney, yeah.
Well, he could be up there with Gordon Bombay, because Gordon Bombay, who he looks like? He looks like his dad now.
He sounds like him too.
Really? He does. It's like, oh my God, I'm watching The West Wing.
Exactly. That was something I noticed right off. Was like, oh my God, his voice has changed to almost be like Martin Sheen's. It's crazy.
And he's about the same size.
Mm-hmm. So. But I thought it was just a typical first.
No one cares what John says.
I didn't really like it that much compared to the two shows I watched last Friday. Of course, were not Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Mighty Ducks. Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 2, awesome.
You didn't like the first one?
No, I mean, I liked the first. I just thought it was better. I mean, as in, yeah.
Oh, like the progression.
Yeah. I'm more.
Are you going to keep watching the Mighty Ducks? Are you going to keep watching?
I'm going to keep watching. Yeah, I never just say one episode and I'm done unless it's absolute dog shit. But with Falcon and Winter Soldier, the first episode, I didn't really care much about Falcon's story. I thought it was kind of forced. Mm-hmm, but I loved everything that was going on with Winter Soldier, because it's like, oh, this is neat, because he's addressing like his past, because he felt like I really felt like in the second episode with the shrink part that he was going to say something more in the lines of, because I lost my best friend and all I have is you, or something like that. Right. I mean, it was still fine, but that's what I felt the grief was about. It was like
that's coming in the 6th episode,
maybe, but like or something. Yeah, but like I'm really all in right now with the Winter Soldier storyline.
Oh yeah,
Falcon,
I thought the second episode was I mean, the comedy between the two of them is great.
Oh yeah, great.
And I love the part where they're in in the episode 2. There's a moment that is just like where they have to look at each other's eyes, which is just so great. So funny.
Right. Yeah, dude, you know his knee was touching his Johnson.
Oh, you know it.
Straight up.
So, but I will say, as forced as the Falcon story does kind of feel, I'm with you on that, Nick, too. But I do like how they're approaching the whole racial undertones of the show. I think they're doing it really well, and I think that it's
for sure.
I think it's something that's long overdue with a medium as large as this. So I think they're taking on a lot in doing that, because it's the MCU, and I'm glad that they are.
That line about Black Falcon and Black
Kid, that was so good. Yeah.
Are you the Black Kid?
So funny. So if you haven't caught it yet, Jack, you should. Definitely
I will probably put it on my. I did want to say one more thing about the Mighty Ducks. I did like the scene where they had the kid moved in across the street from the chubby kid that got cut from the Ducks. I don't know his name. He can't really skate very well. But, of course, his mom was anyway. So, but the kid moves in. He's from Canada. He's got the Maple Leaf stuff. Yeah. He's got all these hockey sticks. He's got $900 skates.
Yeah.
And, of course, he gets to the rink, and guess what? He's from Canada, and he can't skate. So right away I'm thinking, okay, he's Illyrio. And,
wow.
Anyway, I just want to take a shot at Illyrio. I know he's not listening, but I thought it was funny. But that is so true, though. How many times parents will go out and buy the most expensive skates, especially for smaller kids? I go,
they're gonna outgrow them. Yeah.
Well, no, I go, you're hurting yourself. They go, why? I go, he or she won't break them in before his feet grow. So you need to get him cheaper skates that he can break in. The ones with the kids aren't shooting 90 miles an hour at age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You don't need protection and that much protection on your ankle. But these parents go out and buy $600. They buy the $400 sticks. I'm like, I go,
and yet you didn't give them a cup.
Nope.
Yeah,
there's only one place that stick's gonna go that's gonna really wreck your kid's day.
Hell yeah.
I just felt that it was a little because it was too much of 90s over the top drama for kids. I felt the first episode was, it's like, really, if I've been playing on a hockey team with all these kids my whole life and all of a sudden I get cut from the team, are they really going to be like, you can't sit with us? Which, I mean, it's a show, I get it, but and then like I did like the beginning though of like the bullshit of parents though, with like Lauren Graham just showing up and like all these kids have like, oh, I have a coach to help coach my kid while he's not on the ice. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like all that bullshit of like, I want to be that.
But that's what
I hated it.
That's hockey. That's baseball. That's everything.
It's everything. I mean, I was glad that I grew up in a small town where I did, whereas we only had like 2 parents that were that way, where they were that parents always sitting in the bleachers yelling at their kid the entire game. And then the kid would be in the dugout or whatever crying because he couldn't enjoy the damn game because all he felt was that his dad was going to hit him or whatever when they got home.
I'm sorry your childhood was like that.
Huh?
I'm sorry your childhood was like that.
My childhood was not like that. My dad gave 0 fucks.
No, but your mom would get in a mask and go, you fucking suck. You fucking suck.
You suck.
I'll put the mask on again, Nicholas.
Do it, honey. It's the only way to motivate.
She was the catcher. She was the catcher in most things. I was up there batting. She had the mask on. Like, if you don't hit this one, I'm gonna have him throw the ball right at you, you little shit.
Parents are the worst thing in the world.
You know what was worse than that though, Jack?
Commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Oh, hate commercial breaks.
Hate them.
So I'm going to plug another show that I've been talking about.
We've already plugged 2. That's it.
I'm plugging For All Mankind.
That's great.
Season 2 has been
I'm going to
awesome.
watch that before I watch Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Winter
Soldier. There's only 2 episodes
so far.
But
no. Before you even think about it, you've got to watch The Princess Bride.
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
Time out. I watched the first 30 minutes of it. But no, let me finish.
That's inconceivable.
I'm good.
You only watched the first.
Inconceivable. Yeah.
Well, I was texting you guys as I was watching it, but my 2 grandkids would not let me watch it. They kept interrupting me. So I'm like going, okay, I'm missing what happened here? I don't know what's happening. All I remember was Andre the Giant stepping on something and it sunk. It sunk in. I go, that's supposed to be a boulder. And then when they were fighting, it was bouncing. When he was fighting, what's his name?
So good.
What's his name? Not Joe Mantegna. The
Inigo Montoya.
No, what's the guy? He was on Criminal Minds. He was on Homeland.
Yes, that's his
no.
It's Inigo Montoya.
No,
his name is that.
No, but I'm talking about the actor. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, when he was Mandy
Patinkin.
Yeah. He was funny and stuff like that, but I couldn't enjoy it because they kept interrupting me.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'll finish this later.
It has the same type of humor with maybe ish, not as strong as like Blazing Saddles. It's that type of slapsticky humor throughout.
You want a peanut?
Well, I like when he was on there and he was struggling. He goes, and they were going back and he's talking to him as he's going on. He goes,
so you haven't met Billy Crystal yet?
No.
I have never met Billy Crystal. I'd like to. I've been a fan of his since Soap.
Well, have fun storming the castle.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't wait for you to finish the rest of the movie.
Well, I'm going to watch it over again because there were so many parts. I'm like going, okay, this I go, all right, I give up.
Do you like
kids win?
Do you like a good MLT? Mutton, lettuce, and tomato.
I do like mutton. I'm a fan of mutton. I love my mutton.
So there's another show that just started on Amazon that I did watch like the first half of the pilot. This one snuck up on me. I'm actually super, super excited about it because
you're recommending another show?
I am because it's a comic book that I actually really got into like 10 years ago. It's actually Robert Kirkman's one of his earlier projects prior to The Walking Dead. It's a comic book called Invincible.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
And Invincible is it's an interesting take on the on a world in which superheroes exist, and like almost like a Avengers style organization and stuff, with an extremely violent twist, and it's got some really interesting storylines. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't read the comics or watched the show. But Amazon Prime Video just released or just started to release episodes of the Invincible cartoon. And it's done in like the 90s cartoon style. I can't even describe it. It's like I feel like I'm watching the Disney afternoon style
so this
of
is
cartoon.
Prime. This is Amazon Prime.
It is. It's on Prime. It's not for kids, so don't watch it with your children.
Kids.
I believe it's rated mature, but the comics were great. There's some really cool and interesting storylines in the comics.
If you're a congressman, do you recommend watching it with kids?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Sure.
Okay,
but check it out because the comics were awesome. And Robert Kirkman, as you guys all know from The Walking Dead, this is one of his earlier projects.
He's kind of like the opposite of George R.R. Martin, where George R.R. Martin doesn't want to like actually sit down to finish something. Robert Kirkman just wants it to go on and on and on and never end, right?
Yeah. Can I ask a question about The Walking Dead?
I haven't watched it in years.
Is what's his name still on there?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is still on there. That's who you're asking about.
I saw an ad on what's it TikTok. I go, wait a minute, he can't. This has to be old. He can't. I haven't watched it's been 4 years since we watched The Walking Dead.
It seems like 7.
It's been a while.
Yeah. It seems like it's forever ago. He's still on there.
Yeah.
It's at least been 5 because of all things, Jack. Today, I had a like on a tweet that I'd sent out in 2016 about a Walking Dead podcast you and I were on. I'm like, what the fuck? But I've actually thought, Jack, of all things, like, could I go back and pick up where we left off and go forward? And I don't know if I could.
I don't think I could.
Only if you held my hand the whole time.
It's not going to happen because I'd hold your hands for a lot of reasons, but not that. It got so stupid.
Sweating.
I'll tell you, the only great thing to come out of The Walking Dead, is the fucking Carl memes.
Oh.
As an example, I'll share my screen right now, but there's 1,000 memes of this particular scene in the show,
right?
Which have been translated into Rick telling Carl
Mike does a good
dad jokes, and it's fucking fantastic. But this is the meme I'm referring to.
Right.
There's so many of them. Like they just
I
go
love
on
the extended head one.
and on and on. Like that's literally the only great thing that's come out of the show. But
speaking of meme fodder, what about that Evergreen or Ever Given? Like the fuck's Ever Given that got trapped and clogged up the Suez Canal.
There's
all of the memes.
I was saying, can't they just blow it up?
We've seen. There's enough.
Well, you don't have to blow up the whole thing, just the front or the back, right? To get it out of the way, just because it was hurting. It was hurting.
There's actually
the economies of the world, right?
One of my friends.
That's what we do when things are hurting the economy. We just blow the shit out of them.
Well, that's why we start wars. Come on, man.
One of my friends actually posted on Facebook. Someone made a very crude video game of, you think it's easy navigating the Suez Canal, and it's just like a stick, But
the thing is, though, did you guys read or hear about what that ship was doing prior to getting stuck in the
I'm sure he was on his cell phone.
Was he taking shots? What was he doing?
No, so you guys don't know this.
No.
So they actually looked at his GPS coordinates, right? And he drew a fucking dick and balls via GPS.
I thought that was fake.
No, that's real. He drew, or the captain, he or she, or him or they drew in GPS coordinates a cock and balls prior to getting stuck. Look it up.
I don't want to place gender on anything,
on the Suez Canal.
The only person that's gonna do a dick and balls is a dude. Just saying.
Fair.
But who was the owner of the ship? I mean, what country was it?
You can't get lonely on a ship, though.
It was no fucks ever given. Before we get too far away from TV shows, we did have an email for recommended viewing. I felt that this fit in with what we were talking about.
Can I apologize to Maggie did I apologize last week to Maggie for San Diego State not going past the first round?
No, you didn't, but you should apologize.
No,
to
I
Maggie every week.
heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you.
Okay, then I apologize, Maggie.
Unless it was off air. So
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I had a bad headache last week. Oh, that was Chris.
So the email that we received, it's a short. It doesn't even list the name of the person. I mean, I can read off the name from the email, assuming that's correct. But it says, "Not sure if you guys mentioned this on a previous episode. I've been watching Counterpart on Amazon Prime, and I haven't felt this way about a show since Lost. If you haven't seen it yet, watch the first episode and you will be hooked. Lovingly yours forever and ever." I added that part. Kevin.
Kevin, yeah.
Hey.
No, I know I brought it up.
Kevin from The Office.
Yeah, Kevin from The Office. Wow, Jack, you're good.
You're gonna love this show.
Yeah, I know I brought it up. I think Jack watched a little bit of it too. But it was on Stars. Okay, it was on Stars. It's one with
I don't have Stars.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, it's only 2 seasons because they canceled it for some reason. But they knew it was getting canceled though, so they finished season 2 as if it was the end of the show. And so it's for a 2-season show. It's superb. And
really?
basically, it's the premise of it is that it takes place in Berlin. And something happened in the 80s, which I'm not going to give it away, but it basically split the worlds. So like we have like a mirror copy of the world, and the portal is in Berlin. And
That's
so
cool.
so J.K. Simmons works for this company that when you go down into these rooms, you're talking to someone through like a prison, like through a plate glass pane, but he has no idea he's talking to someone in this mirror world. And then he eventually becomes privy to this, and it spirals into like he meeting his own self. And like,
what channel is it on?
It was on Stars, but you can get it on Prime now. It's really good.
What's it called again?
Counterpart.
Because that does sound like something I would watch.
It's really good. Yeah.
And it sounds like it also has a little elements of Fringe with the whole
it does.
two universe. I'm looking at the cast list here, and I'm blown away. There is an actor on the show named John Funk, which it's crazy because that was my former close friend. His name was Ed Funk. So, and but his actual surname was John Funk, but it just so I work for a couple Funk brothers, so I always think it's kind of
right about
Uptown
now.
Funk you up.
Yeah, Uptown Funk.
So one more movie / show. Sorry, I mean this is kind
No, I have a movie.
Yeah, this is
that
really
I was gonna
interesting.
talk about too.
So I watched a documentary recently on Netflix, and it was fucking awesome. And it was The Last Blockbuster.
Oh, right. I saw you post about that. Yeah.
This documentary is
The Last Blockbuster store?
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch. And it kind of goes through the history of video rental stores, the mom and pop stores, and then when Blockbuster came into the picture and how they took over the world from like revenue sharing with the movie industry, which killed all the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
And then it quickly kind of went into the love affair that America has with Blockbuster and how it became kind of like everybody went to Blockbuster type of place.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought back so many memories for me as a kid, going to the Blockbuster video to either rent a video game or the next movie. And like they even described a couple of scenarios I remember as a kid. Like if you walked up to the counter and they didn't have the movie or the game you're looking for, you'd go up there and say, "Hey, was there one coming back?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, one's coming back supposedly today." And you sit there, you just fucking laser eye everybody who walked up and dropped their shit off and see if was that it? Was that it? Right? And just like all those cool like little memories. And I'm not going to give it away, but there's actually like one like 30 to 40 second scene towards the end that gave me this incredible like nostalgic happy place feeling.
Was it walking into the private area where they had the movie movies?
They didn't have that. They didn't have that. That was one of Blockbuster's big keynote things, is that they didn't have adult movies.
And that's why they're not around today.
I love those memes, though. You see, like, this generation will never know the pain of having to tilt back every single, thing on the shelf and none of them be there,
But the show reminded me so much of what was really great about that, and I actually do miss that experience. Even though I'm not a big fan of physical media anymore. I know people frown upon that, but I'm not. But the experience of going in was awesome. And now when I look back after watching that documentary, I'm like, man, that was really great, and I do miss it. So check out The Lost Blockbuster, if anything, for the sake of nostalgia.
Yeah, over in the comment chat, Will Fry is from my hometown, sort of, and
Tennessee, same thing, right?
Yeah, same thing, yeah. And so the we still have the mom and pop video store, I guess, up until January in our hometown.
Well, the family video. Yeah, the Family Video Corporation, we had one just down the block from us. And for the longest time, like when my kid was learning or my son, when he was learning to ride his bike, we would always bike down to the Family Video. And, they always had like a gumball machine. And it was kind of like part of a reward system for biking for him. Like biking down, putting the quarter in, getting a gumball. Sometimes you get a free movie. Looking through the
ones that were like had like the paint on it, or the edible paint on the gumball, says free movie on it. They had that at Blockbuster. That.
Ours just had like a little sign that said the free gumball of the week is this color, and then whatever.
Cool.
Gumballs, and they like every 100 of them had it printed like on the gumball itself. It was like free movie. They had that at my.
Our Family Video is just a little bit like lower class than that. They didn't print it on there. So, but I did use that for a long time. I would use it in the machine. It was always hard. It lost its flavor in 5 seconds. But
Matt Gates,
John.
From what I hear, it was way too soft.
John, the UPS guy in the chat, I didn't realize this was on Jimmy Kimmel. I did see pictures of it. Yeah, that there was the FedEx guy. Yeah, that Jimmy Kimmel had a guy from Iowa who built a replica of a video rental. I actually think it was Blockbuster in his man room. So like when you walked in, you had all the shelves and like the popcorn bags and all the stuff there, and then you had to pick one out, and then he had the flat screen up there, and so the chair so you could watch it. But it was like he wanted that experience. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, you guys were mentioning porn and videos. Video stores selling porn. There was two.
Jack hasn't paid attention.
I'm glad. Yeah, not one comment, but
wait,
perked his ears up.
No, wait.
Behind the green door, Jack. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, let me finish. Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish? No. What? And that's what she said. Anyway, so there was two stores. I had my mailbox, etc. There was a video store run by this family, their kids. My kids used to play with their kids and all that fun stuff. They didn't sell porn. They refused to do it. They said, I don't care if we go out of business. We're not selling porn. There's one like the next 100 yards away at the next mall over. They sold videos and porn. Which one do you think survived? One folded and one made it for a while.
Sold the porn?
The one that sold the porn made it.
Of course. We've talked about this stuff too. It's like I think she thinks it's in a movie as well. Like someone talking about this commentary is like, Betamax was better than VHS. But the reason why VHS won over Betamax is because porn was released on VHS, as well as the Star Wars trilogy was also only released on VHS and not Betamax.
Betamax. I have a beta copy of Empire Strikes Back, I believe. Oh. So
maybe I'm wrong about that then. But
let me go get it. Not that I like to prove Nick wrong at all.
Damn.
But what was really interesting though is that I mean obviously I got really excited about watching this documentary. I was telling my wife about it, and my daughter was there, and she was over listening in and overhearing what I was talking about. And I had to sit there and explain to her the whole phenomenon of Buster, and she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, yeah. You couldn't just tap a button and get what the hell you wanted on the screen. You had to go somewhere and find it and talk to somebody and get a recommendation from someone who worked there or your friends who you ran into.
Yeah, we have Zach the next couple days, and he didn't want to stop watching his YouTube video because we were going to eat. And he goes, I go, dude, just put it on pause. So finally I go, you know what? When I was a kid, and your Gigi was a kid, there was no putting it on pause. When we called for dinner, you came to the table or you got your ass beat.
Yep.
And you ate whatever. I go, but you messed. It was over. It was done. It was gone. I go, and then my wife goes, yeah, we only had. Well, she lived in LA. She had more channels than I did in San Diego. But we don't have. She goes. So Zach goes, wait, you only had 3 or 4 channels?
Wow.
They have different stuff on there. I go, well, yeah, kind of different stuff. And he goes, well, what did you do for fun? I go, we went outside. We didn't stay in the house. He goes, I don't like going outside. He goes, I got my YouTube. I go, well, we didn't have YouTube. He goes, wait, you didn't have YouTube? I go, no, there was no internet. He's just looking at us like you were saying about your daughter. He couldn't comprehend. He goes, wait. So I go, we didn't have we didn't have phones. Our phone was connected to the wall.
Stupid ass fucking spiral cable that always knotted up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it got all tangled up and
yeah.
I go,
never get it undone again.
I go, we had it rough.
Those are some of my favorite videos, or watching kids using old technology. Like using a rotary phone, and they're like, they have no clue how to do it. And I'm like, you're turning on a computer from the early 90s or late 80s, like, they don't know how to do it. Or we're just laughing my ass.
I played a joke on one of my sisters, not the mean one that's in the chat, but my other sister, anytime the phone rang, she would just jump up to go get it. We had a family, our garage was converted into a family room. There was a phone in there, a touch phone, and the other phone was in the kitchen. So, and she had sprained her knee or something. She'd done something. So she's in her room. So you could do something. You could hit, I think it was 333, the last 4 digits of your phone number, and then click it real fast, and your phone would ring.
Right.
You hear this hop, 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 hop. She'd get over the phone. Hello, hello, hello. And I'd hang up. I hear her hop all the way back. I did this forever. It was so entertaining. So when Zach says, "What did you do for fun?" We found things to do to have fun. So I did that for hours because she'd literally be on the phone for hours. I mean, you couldn't get her off the phone. I remember my car broke down one time. I'm calling it a payphone, which we had to explain to Zach what a payphone was today too. And you have to do an emergency brake that cost my parents $1. I said, and they're yelling at me. I go, I was stranding in the middle of nowhere trying to call for help. I go, she's been on the phone. That thing was busy for 3 hours. I'm the bad guy here. Anyway.
Remember how awesome the people at 411 and how they would hook you up with what you need. They were like the first Google, right? So like if you needed to find out a telephone number and you were too lazy to pull out the telephone book, we had books with numbers in it to look
or
at.
time and temp. You'd call in for time and temp,
Right.
So
San Diego, we didn't call for temperature.
And then you had 1-800-COLLECT, right? So you call.
Yeah.
It was always the you have a call from Mom. I'm ready to come pick me up. Do you accept the call?
And then you hang up.
Then you hang up, right? That was what we did. It's such a. I was talking to some of my employees the other day, and we're talking about internet back in the 90s and and the concept.
Come on, it's almost there.
The concept that you weren't always perpetually connected to some type of internet like we are today. Like they couldn't wrap their heads around the idea that this piece of shit disc that came to you in the mail once a week, you had to put it into your computer, load it onto your computer, and then connect your computer to a telephone. It blew people's minds. Like they're like, how did that even work? I'm like, well, it didn't half the time, to be honest with you, but that's how we roll, man. And
what's amazing to me is that Microsoft Word still uses the icon of a floppy disk.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody does.
We actually,
what's a floppy disk?
Yeah,
but no, that's the icon for saving.
Yeah, I actually think I brought this up. I think years ago when I was still in LA, because like one of my coworkers is 10 years younger than me, and one of my guys sat next to me was our age, and we were talking about that, like the phenomenon of like younger people not knowing what that symbol means, and so we looked back at this person, was like, "Hey, do you know what this symbol is?" And they were like, "Oh, it's the save button." And we're like, "Yeah, but like, do you know why it's the save button?" And they're like, "No, it's just a weird square with a circle around it." I was like, "Yeah, it's a floppy disk." And they were like, "What's a floppy disk?" And I was like, "Oh!" Like, so it's amazing.
Just watch War Games. It'll teach you everything you need to know.
There wasn't that kind of gap, I think, between like my parents, between us, right? I mean,
right,
because technology just didn't go as fast as it does now.
Right,
I mean, it just changed. I mean,
But look at like I always like to refer to Back to the Future though, because you look at 1985 versus 1955. Look how much things changed in that period. Versus 1985 versus 2015.
They did, but a car's a car.
Yeah, but styles are different. Technology is different. But
the skateboard, he just took it off and he could skate. I mean, it wasn't really. But I'm saying technology is this compute. Well, you have to learn it. You can't just I mean, obviously you have to learn to drive a car, but you know what I'm saying.
There's. So I was kind of it wasn't really an argument, but we were just kind of having like this kind of, heated conversation, I guess, or a point counterpoint kind of thing with my boss and I the other day where, he was kind of down on the fact that radio is dead. Like he was just like, oh, radio's dead, like this sucks. And I was like, yeah, like, but he was kind of like lamenting it that like, there's no place for like people to get new music out there. And he's a little bit, I mean, I know he's coming from a certain.
You tell him about the MTV station?
Oh, I could talk to him again. This was kind of a point counterpoint like thing about MTV. No, I mean, like seriously, it's like, well, yeah, but there's YouTube now. Like kids have like access. Kids nowadays, they have access to like basically like a modern day music equipment to like studio produce. Like we didn't have that. You know what I mean? Like, and even to be able to.
What are we doing now?
Exactly. I mean, I even brought that up. I was like, podcasting. Like we're doing a radio show where like 4 of us are in 4 different states. And
why do you think radio's dead?
Exactly. And by the way, I fucking hate the commercials. Commercials killed radio to me.
Yeah.
Like who wants to tune in and hear?
I thought it was video.
Well, is that they play the same shit over and over and over.
Right. Well, and there's that too. Like there's nothing new. Like they've handcuffed the DJs, so they have no ability to like say like here's something new. And then B, the commercials. How many times
that was the best part about music when I was growing up. It was the DJs,
Right.
Like the music.
I mean, aside from like college or pirate radio, which is all kind of moved to basically you got Spotify lists and podcasts now, like this is the way that the everyman gets stuff out there. So I still think
it's fundamentally changed the music industry in the sense that like you learned about music, you learned about this band, or you learned about this new song by hearing it on the radio or watching it on late night. What's the guy?
Johnny Carson.
Nowadays, it's like I think about how many bands or how many songs or how many whatever I've discovered, through people on the internet and seeing some recording from like 1975 and be able to and learn about these bands and kind of just see all the shit that they were doing back in the day. It's like a completely different universe. Like if you go back to the, up until 10, 15 years ago, we were just served shit, right? So you're like, this is what you're going to listen to. Like, this is what you have available to you. And now it's like a fucking.
I mean, even 25 years ago, when I worked at a music store, we had the big book that had the entire discography where you had to look through it, and you could actually go into a place just like you would, at we didn't have as many Blockbusters. We actually had Hollywood Video near us, but they had a similar thing where they had this big giant book. Now we have Wikipedia where you can look up somebody's entire discography, so you really had to be kind of like searching it out back then. Whereas now it's at your fingertips, It's just the amount of And Matt Treist commenting, support your local community radio station. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of the free ones or the ones that are cutting edge, or college, radio stations or stuff that's a little bit more off the radar. But I agree with you, that like support what is available to you. So what do you have there?
This is, look, what you're talking about, the Great Rock discography.
I love that it's got duct tape on it too.
I do like that.
Yeah, this book is over 20 years old. That's why.
That's awesome.
It ends in 2001. But it's every artist and their entire
just like our freedoms did. Thanks, Patriot Act.
For real. But like you can look up anybody in here though, and they'll tell you, each record, like when they were released, what every track was on it, where it peaked in the charts. Like it's like,
oh wow,
that's what you had to do, like to learn.
Well, once you get older, you peak a lot earlier.
But like I still kind of do things old way, like the two British magazines.
That's good for you.
He likes to peak early.
Like Mojo and Uncut to me are the only two legit music magazines that still are around. And like each of those in the back section, they always break it down by genre. Each record that's released every week or month, and they'll give it a full review. And like that's how I discover new music.
I discover new music when you play it on our show. I'm like,
I've become that old person. Like I think we talked about before, like in the Grammys and when people win, I go, I have no idea who that person is. They could walk right up to me and I wouldn't know that they're famous.
Because you're a grampy.
I am. I've got that where I'm old and I never thought I'd be that. I never thought I'd be that guy, but I'm that guy. I've become that guy where it's just like I don't know who that is. It's crap.
I've been doing a lot of like music research, I guess you could say, and kind of like digging deep and finding some of the things because of that dude I've been listening to on Instagram and his podcast. Like,
that guy you recommended to all of us?
Yeah, he did a show the other night, and it's so crazy because I'm not really into like heavy metal. Like, I mean, I'll appreciate it, I'll listen to it, and then he did a show the other night, and it was he took apart a Pantera song. He took apart this band called Mastodon, and track by track, and fucking amazing some of the talent of some of these bands. So like again, going back to the conversation you were talking about before, Matt, like I have like found so much more music than I could ever even think about 15 years ago because of the way we consume music now, and grown a weird appreciation for it too, which is awesome. And I was driving the other day listening to Pantera. Like I haven't done that in 20 years.
Pantera.
Yeah. But I mean, it is great how like, I mean, even through Apple Music or Spotify, like the suggestions or like the, like if you like this band, check out this, like I'll jump through and, or even just having a subscription to, I mean, I was somebody that would have bought a CD or more per month, and now it's like, yeah, take my money. Just give me unlimited access to all of this music so I can jump around and I can.
What was that Columbia? What was that thing you could get for a penny?
Oh yes,
Columbia
House.
What was best thing was because I had the mailbox, etc. People would cancel their box, but they'd keep getting the tapes. So I said, for me. That's for me.
That's why I got
was
shitty
it
credit.
Columbia House? What was that called?
You had two different ones. You had Columbia House and there was one other one.
I think I did Columbia House one time.
And there was what was the one that had the records of the hits for the year? Playtone? No, not Playtone.
Play it again, Sam.
Come on, Randy, you know it. Come on, someone out there. Matt Treese has to know it. It would have like different songs every year.
Matt Treese is hosting his own radio.
The time
I get that. No, it was a. You could buy it. It would come out like I think Christmas time or something like that. Playtale. Oh, God damn it! But that's what you'd go get because it had all the hits from. K-Tel. Thank you, John, the FedEx guy.
I'm not familiar with this. Is this something? When was this from?
That was in the 60s and 70s, I guess, maybe.
That's why we don't know.
Maybe the 80s were in there, too.
Friends with K-Gel.
K-Gel. Of course, you know that.
Anyway,
so...
What?
K-Tel.
I
was close.
You know, it's something that doesn't that really takes me back to the 90s.
We don't have to have another. Oh, that
Bartles and James wine.
That made me thirsty. Thirsty this morning when I saw it.
Honestly, I went to the store right before tonight. I was on my way home I was like, I'm gonna pick me up some Bartles and James for this podcast. Couldn't find it.
Really? No, they haven't made it. They haven't made it in decades. I don't think.
Yeah, I know.
But you would have chosen your drink of choice would have been a Bartles and James.
So the reason
had one.
So the reason why this got brought up, Chris, is that
and just I'm going to cut Nick's story off because nobody gives a shit about it.
No one cares. No one cares. Yeah.
It was you that cut him off last week.
Exactly, or week before last, whenever it was.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I know who I cut off. It wasn't me.
No, I'm in the section of our grocery store. I'm looking at the wine cooler choices, which is basically just Seagrams, and everything else is Spritzer. Everything else or Spritzer, not
White Claw.
Yeah, it's the hard seltzer now. That's the
fad.
So, but I looked at it and I was like, nah, I can't even drink that fucking shit. So,
I'll tell you, the seltzers, I don't think it's a fad.
Well, yeah, it's because locale. Yeah.
Well, because there's with the amount of people who are doing all these fucking stupid ass diets like keto and I'm sorry, they're not stupid. They make sense. I get it, I understand, but like all the keto fad diets, because the fad diet is never going away. There's gonna be another one's gonna start. The second keto starts wearing off, and they're all gonna need some type of like zero or low cal, low carb alcohol. Randy says Zima. Remember Zima?
Drop some Jolly Ranchers.
The problem is they all tasted like shit. Like the stuff.
I think
they brought it back for like a year.
I think the Taff used to drink Zima.
Now, Nick, I feel bad that it.
No, you can't talk now. No, you can't even bring it up. You already cut me off again. So.
Well, that's twice, man.
So the reason why, Chris, we have this image of the bar. What is it? Is it Bartles and James?
Bartles and James, yeah.
Bartles and James.
So it's because on one of our bonus episodes, week before last, I think is when it was. Somehow I think Jack brought up wine coolers, and so I had
because I said I don't like wine.
Yeah,
but I said I liked wine coolers, but
wine coolers.
But Bartles and James isn't around anymore, something like that.
Right.
And Matt said, I'm going to go to my store and see if I can find it.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I started telling the story about when I was a little kid, seeing the commercials and all this, and then Matt cut me off, and I never finished the story. I never finished the story, and so we actually had someone comment going,
it was Randy.
I never heard. Randy's like, I never heard the end of the story. So I don't remember what the premise was, other than like Jack saying he liked wine coolers. So when I was a little kid, because those commercials were so awesome in the 80s when we were kids, I probably most likely thought this was Kool-Aid or some kind of Kool-Aid-like drink. So my grandfather and I went to the grocery store, and I grabbed a 6-pack of Bartles and James and gave it to him. And it's like, I want this. And being a grandfather, he's like, okay, fine. So we get all the grocery store.
It's a South.
Yeah.
Moonshine.
But when that gets up to the register, the girl at the register goes, oh, I can't sell you this. And typical grandfather, it's for my grandson. Well, now I really can't sell you this. Why can't you sell it to him? It's just a drink for my grandson. It's like, and of course it's it's the South and it's on Sunday, so that's why she couldn't sell it to him. That's why.
If it was Saturday, she would have sold it to you.
Yeah, exactly. If it would have been any other day of the week, I would have been getting drunk as a little kid.
I had a.
Yes, this is what my local Walmart had. They had one of these.
So Bartles and James is still around. They just have a different style, and they're canned. So there you go.
Allegedly, when Jay was really young, might have had a wine cooler out, and he might have had some of it. Allegedly,
explains a lot.
And he was. I turned around and said, "You can't." Allegedly, so he didn't drink it all, but just a little bit. He got a little tipsy. But.
Well, and now all this time later,
cooler.
And now, and that explains why now he just drinks it straight. Just not stuff.
I was going to say this is why it explains his son doesn't want to go outside. So,
because there's alcohol in the house.
Well, the TV show or movie that I wanted to talk about was.
You should have done that when we were talking about TV.
God. Regressing.
Now you just screwed the flow. Go ahead, Matt.
That's fine. Whatever.
No, I'm just teasing you.
Did we talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
I know this movie just came out. It just dropped today on HBO now.
Hey, I'm gonna go see it Friday.
Godzilla versus Kong.
I got tickets. Yeah, to go see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is my one thing. I think it would be a really good movie to see in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Not only because of the scale.
What is it?
Godzilla versus King Kong.
Not only because of the scale of it, but like this.
You got Mecha Godzilla.
Why are you?
Because it's gonna suck. All the
80%.
Godzilla and King Kong movies they've brought the last 20, 25 years have been terrible. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Before you shit on it.
Dude, the most recent Godzilla movie was fucking epic.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it because all the other ones were terrible.
I also liked.
It was fucking awesome.
The only one that truly sucks is the '98 version.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick. That's the only one that's terrible.
All right, okay.
You're right.
I stand corrected. Go ahead.
But I liked it. I'm not gonna get any spoilers here for Nick, who's gonna go see it in the theater. I would just say that it when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this would be a really good movie to see in the theater for the sound quality. Like there's just some moments that happen for how epic of the battle it is, and I enjoyed it. Like I went in with because most of those movies, it's like you just don't care about the characters. You just want to get to the action. And I think one of the biggest problems with the Godzilla movie from like 99 or whatever it was that it takes forever to get to Godzilla sometimes. You're just like, come on, just show us the fucking monsters. And I felt like this was 100% monsters nonstop, and I loved it. So I enjoyed it.
It's on HBO?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
HBO Max. Yeah,
it's the next Hamlet or something like that, but it's I thought it packed a punch. I enjoyed it.
Nice. I'm looking forward to watching it too. But going back to it, I think it was like 2015-ish, with Bryan Cranston was in it. Who else is in it? Elizabeth Olsen was in it.
That one actually drove me nuts at the very end. But yeah, go ahead.
But that movie was fucking great. Was it kaiju? Is that the term?
Yeah.
Kaiju movie?
Yeah, kaiju.
That was one of the only ones that really actually did it for me. Right?
Man.
But recently,
Pacific Rim, the first one is good.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
that was pretty good. Yeah,
but the I loved it. I love that movie. I remember because
Island. I thought that was pretty good too.
I think we're 7 years out, so it's not really that much of a spoiler. Like they definitely sold that movie with Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? They sold it because of Breaking Bad. Like every single advertisement.
And he wasn't in it as much.
No, he wasn't.
He dies in the first 2 minutes. He's not in the movie at all.
That reminds me, there was a show on TV, and there was that's when
Happy Days was big. We're talking about movies now.
I know. You were talking about selling a show. It was when Fonzie was big.
Oh, good God!
And they said Henry Winkler. And he's in the show for like 5 minutes. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, what drove me nuts about the Godzilla one with Elizabeth Olsen was at the very end, towards the very end, is that she's there, with her child, and the guy that plays her brother.
Really quick.
The guy who plays her brother in Age of Ultron. Who's her husband in Godzilla, is that she's looking for him, but then she gives her child to a random stranger and is like, here, take my kid. I have to go find my husband. It's like, no mother in the fucking world would do that. And it's just like little things that's like the nitpick of who wrote that scene?
Right.
Other than that, I like it. Yeah.
But that final fight scene in that movie where he fucking shoots out the lightning and shit, like when he didn't use that power throughout the entire movie, and he goes ape shit. I remember being in the theater, and that was one of those moments where everybody in the theater just fucking cheers and screams and yells because it was like Godzilla, finally getting his final form into the battle.
It's how I felt about Sonic when he finally used his power. I was like, yeah, go Sonic.
Did you see that movie? Did you see?
I did actually watch that. I didn't realize that Jim Carrey was actually in it. I was like, what?
Yeah. Chris, I'm sorry, I was responding to Sherry. Did you talk about Atomic Breath? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he first harnesses the energy
Yeah,
to do it.
Yeah,
You're like, here it comes, and the fucking theater just went bullshit.
That's
it
why
was
I'm
like it was like that moment in the theater, people went bullshit, and then the scene where fucking Yoda busts out his lightsaber and fights Dooku. Those are like my two like most memorable moments in the theater.
On to Owen and Brew for our next half hour. No,
oh yeah. What do you guys think about the trailer for Bad Batch?
It's gonna be
Looks
good.
good.
It's gonna be good.
I think we're gonna get some Tarkin in there, and I'm not Tarkin. Thrawn. I think if you think about the timeline,
Thrawn?
and the connection
Really?
to Tarkin. Yeah.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah, I got you.
And
go back to Godzilla just real quick. But that's the reason why
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, like I said just a second ago, like that's why I'm looking forward to this one is because we're getting Mecha Godzilla. So I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's some moments that I definitely like. I think just as a casual movie watcher, you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen here, but it didn't ruin it because I wanted to see all of that shit. Like, so anything that you're like, oh, I bet this is going to happen, I'm fine. I'm along for the ride. Like, and
come on, Jack, you can do it.
Jack, just stay in there. We're going to talk about Bad Batch.
Yeah, the Bad Batch is gonna be so good. I mean,
I did see the original Transformer in the theater this week.
The original Transformer?
Yeah. It was Jay's birthday on Saturday. He rented out a theater.
1986?
Oh, he rented out a theater?
No, the other one with
that's not the original.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and Megan Fox.
That's not the original.
Dude,
whatever.
To be fair, Transformers, the first of the new generation, that movie is fucking badass.
It's pretty.
Really.
The only thing I noticed this time is because when they're the final fight scene, I go, at what point do the police or someone stop cars from driving down where the fighting is going on? I just said, okay, I never noticed this before. Well, you should stop the car because and people are still running there. I go,
Jack. Okay, the cars were literally fighting, so they probably couldn't tell.
Not those cars. I'm talking about people.
Okay, so that actually reminds me of a third moment in which I remember people standing up and cheering and screaming is when he walks into the alleyway, and out of darkness you hear Peter Cullen's voice.
Yeah. We talked about that years ago.
I do remember that. That's one of those moments where everybody in the theater was like,
I had tears.
Yes, like because people who went to see that movie, especially on first night, right, the premiere night, people were fucking amped up for it, and that was a great reveal, and it was a crowd pleaser for sure.
Who's the guy that was married to Fergie, Josh Duhamel, or something like that? What's his name?
Where's this coming from?
Joe. Obviously, he's in turn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's a military guy.
He slides on his motorcycle. He slides on the ground, this pavement for like a mile and a half. He gets up. Hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
No bruise, no nothing. Just I go. That would hurt. But I did enjoy the movie.
I remember at the time, not because there's so much CGI in that final battle scene that you couldn't tell.
Wait, that's not real.
What was what? Like you're like, wait a minute, it's just a clunk of metal like like going around. You're like,
yeah. I said the same thing. I said, how did they know who they're fighting?
I think my biggest complaint about the early Transformers movies is I wasn't as wild with like all of the design of them. Like I wanted them to be more sleek and kind of stylized like the cartoons, like robots. But well, I mean, that was just me.
I didn't watch the cartoon, so
it's very cool. Michael Bay, and it's a shameless plug for product because it was all GM vehicles. Right. It's like, well, Bumblebee's not really a Camaro. Like it was all this like, okay, that's not really what's going on. Just like this last season of Superstore, this last episode was shameless. Just all it was a big LaCroix advertisement in Doritos. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, there was actually even before the last episode, there was an episode where they were all sitting around like in the back of and they were all drinking LaCroix. So what did you think of the final there?
I liked it.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it, Jack? You watched it just for the joke that they made.
I haven't watched it yet. No. I'm still in season 1.
Oh,
what?
I mean, I was not a fan of the last season of Superstore. I felt it was kind of really thin.
Rush. I thought it was like Game of Thrones. The kind of
I just felt it like it was basically like Amy left, filler,
Right.
you know, like Amy's back.
Yeah, it was basically like that last season of X-Files when you're like,
when Amy got the dragons out
come on, bring
and
back
torched the whole store, I said, come on, where did that come from?
You're missing out. I think the first 4 seasons are very strong.
Yeah,
and it was
they
a very
are.
fun.
I enjoyed it, but I think we canceled something for a while, and it was where it was on, and I stopped watching it.
Oh,
Like it was on Hulu or whatever it was on. I stopped. I'm muted.
So, speaking of LaCroix and dragons, interestingly, don't we have an email?
We already read it. It was one about Counterpoint.
Oh, that's what I didn't realize that was an email. I'm sorry. I just saw the private chat. Peel back the curtain here. We're saying I get to an email. I didn't realize that's how Counterpoint started. My bad.
Yeah. Hey, have you got any further with Justified?
Chris and steal all of his music.
Have you got any further with Justified, Nick?
No, I've been too busy. I've been swamped with work.
It's basically like a tug of war between you two. You didn't finish Princess Bride. What's he supposed to do? You know,
I have grandkids that were bothering me.
Well, he's got a job.
I was too busy making a living. Yeah.
Is this gonna be like Jack's
I'm even here tonight.
That's where Zach said, he goes, Papa, what do you do for work? I go, I watch Bratz all day long. He goes, but that doesn't pay. He goes, but that doesn't pay anything. I go, you're goddamn right it doesn't.
who do I need to talk about this?
Your hugs don't mean shit.
You can blame your dad for that.
Yeah.
One other movie, quick. When
do you have time to work, Matt? All these TV shows and movies you're recommending out there looking for Bartles and James.
I know, right? The other night I was just like, I'm going to throw this on. By the way, I watched the Zack Snyder Justice League. It took me like 3 days to get through it because it's just like so fucking long and kept falling me to sleep. But then I watched Birds of Prey, and I really enjoyed that. That was fun. The Harley Quinn related movie. So,
oh, really?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was like, I was going into it just like, what's this about? And I was actually more entertained. There were some moments towards the end where I thought that the set pieces were just kind of like blah. And that's kind of when I was on my phone. But I would say that the first 2/3 of the movie kept me entertained more so than whatever Zack Snyder did with Justice League. So
I agree. I was not a fan of Birds of Prey either. Like as in like when I saw it, but the first, you're right. I love like the sandwich scene. I love the police station scene. And I love all the jokes about you're the crossbow killer. I thought that was hilarious. But then, I felt the last act was just really like, what, because it was like you didn't really set up Ewan McGregor that properly. Like, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're just at this place and we're going to fight and that's it. You're like, okay. Like, I felt the third act just fell apart. Yeah.
So I didn't see Birds of Prey, but, obviously the Zack Snyder cut has been like all over the place and people going crazy about it. Now they really re-released it again in black and white. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I feel like so not compelled to watch it. I'm like, why? I'm like, I'm like, Justice League sucked. It wasn't even that good of a movie and blah, blah, blah. And people were talking about that. And then it came to the realization, I never fucking saw the original. Like, it just shows you how much I didn't fucking care. But I never actually saw Justice League, the non Zack Snyder cut.
I saw the cartoon.
But I think I was so jaded from the one before it, the
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, Batman vs Superman was literally one of the shittiest fucking movies I think I've ever seen, and I think I just mentally blocked myself out of the DC universe after that. I didn't watch it.
From what I gather is that DC is beyond micromanaging. Like they're just. No self-respecting director wants to work for them anymore because of they'll get a rough idea for a script, they'll kind of form it a little bit better, and then they'll start making the film. And DC was to constantly come in and say, "Oh no, you can't show that, you can't do this," and so they're butchering their movies, which is why like someone like Zack Snyder goes, "You know what, fuck it, I quit," and then they have to pull in Joss Whedon to make take all those pieces and put them in to make that shitty fucking Justice League movie. That's what even what what's her name said, Penny Jenkins or whatever said about this last Wonder Woman, is that she kind of had free reign with the first one, and this one the DC was like, oh well, you've got a hit, now we've got to like keep it more to blah blah blah, and like it just went off the rails.
I think that's what I enjoyed, at least with the first 2/3. I'll say about Birds of Prey is that it felt free and fun, and it didn't take itself too seriously. When I'm watching the other ones, I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, why are we so dark and brooding? Whereas the Birds of Prey is just like, let's have fun. Let's have fun.
We said it. I think we said it before. Why do executives get involved in like movies and like you have owners like a Jerry Jones for the Cowboys? He doesn't know shit about football, but he gets in, and they've sucked. When are they going to learn? You hire people, let them do the work.
Yeah.
Well, how do I feel that this is coming back to the San Diego Chargers?
No, I wouldn't go in there, but
okay. I love your Padres.
He's all Padres today. I mean,
Jim Watari.
He's a triple threat today.
Yeah, you've got the background.
Baseball season starts tomorrow. There you go.
That is a Jim Watari shirt if I've ever seen one.
It really is.
Yeah.
I miss Jim.
You know who I miss? Our patrons for making this show possible.
Damn, just killing it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, fine.
It's time to end it.
No, I don't have.
I mean, I thought it was a brilliant transition.
It was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Jack and I weren't.
Chris just wants to get off the show.
Jack and I weren't ready yet.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, I had 20 more shows I wanted to recommend.
I'm never ready to say goodbye to you guys.
It's not. Look. Matt's not slurring his words, and Chris is not giggling. We're clearly not done yet.
Hey, I let the guys know
last week, wasn't he?
Apparently, I got white wine drunk. My wife had let this like little can in the refrigerator. I went upstairs and I just like, I'll have part of this, not realizing that each can had like basically a glass of wine, and it was like 13% alcohol or whatever. So I drank the first one and went down easy, and I didn't notice it. For a bonus show, I drank a full can, so I basically had 3 glasses. I don't usually drink that much, and I apologize for everything.
Except on Wednesday nights, yeah.
and every night's Wednesday night with these guys.
He was though. Like last 20.
As I say, at least Chris. Jack's got his camera on.
I don't. Whatever.
Well, if you enjoy this show, and who doesn't,
and why wouldn't you?
You can help us out. Give us a rate and review over on iTunes, or send us an email at rcadcast@gmail.com. You can also go over to jandjack.com and purchase some merchandise or become a patron if you'd like. So, or don't. But if you are a patron at a certain level, we do a bonus show. Not this week because we're just too old, too tired. And Jack doesn't want to hear Nick and I talk about Star Wars and how
I'll pull my Emma Watson and I will walk out.
I'm happy though, Chris. I don't know if I pointed it out to Matt. I'm not sure if you noticed it in the trailer though for Bad Batch. We are getting Rex, so I am happy.
Mm-hmm.
And who do you think that kid is?
Nobody cares.
Oh, right.
There's been some speculation that that kid may be a clone. I'm just gonna put that out there. We don't know. Speculation, fan theories.
Get hyped up out there, geeks. Here you go.
I fell down on my job of writing out the names this week. I did.
What the fuck?
I didn't write them down.
We've been going on for an hour and a half.
Yeah, for real.
I was paying attention to you guys.
Since when?
Yeah, usually you walk up like 5 or 6 times.
Chris was just writing to me privately that he was looking forward so much to reading them aloud.
Seriously?
And, yeah.
Because last week they were so
letting
bad.
him down. You're just letting him down.
I know. Last week was so bad that I just.
All right, ready? Okay, give me the names. Ready? Let's go. First name is
Tack.
Okay. How about a Tachia Colada? Right above your right shoulder.
Going behind. Yeah.
If you like Tachia Colada.
What's the next name?
Getting caught in the
Eckhart
rain.
Richter.
Eckhart Richter Rita.
Rita.
I was gonna say Maggie
fucking
Margarita.
We're on the same
two,
page. There
let's
we
go.
go.
All right. We have Ed.
Erotic Berry. Ed the Erotic Berry.
Ed the
there you go,
Erotic
Ed.
Berry.
I like that.
Ed
I like
the
that a
Erotic
lot.
Berry. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
So
Next,
next we have Maggie.
Maggie's fuzzy navel. Dude, let's keep rolling. Who's next?
Joanne.
Joanna Granite.
Joanne Granite.
Joanna Granite.
Strawberry daiquiri.
Joanna Granite Raspberry.
Joanna
Granite Raspberry.
Okay, Joanna.
And that, my
Granite
friends, is
Raspberry.
how you fucking get a flawless victory in the names.
But you got one more.
Oh,
yeah.
Greg.
Greg is Sangria.
If you like Greg, Lala.
I like Greg Sangria. That works.
Yeah, I like Greg Sangria.
Yeah.
Greg is Sangria.
It's nice.
And
nice.
we did it. Great show,
We-
kids. That was
we-
1 in a million.
You lacked.
I started the show. I recorded it.
You hit the button. You hit the button.
But the thing
That's why he's the producer.
Now,
All right, well. Before we have to throw another commercial in, thank you everybody that joined us live. We really do appreciate it. And
Carlson James commercial.
Sangria.
And what was that?
Makes sense. I was reading Matt Treese. Sangria.
Sangria.
Thanks for joining us live. We appreciate it.
We'll quench your thirst.
Maybe next week we'll have a bonus show for you. And
yeah, I can take a nap next week. So